Okay. Thank you for that, Shivanaji. Good morning, everyone. Once again, thank you all for joining in. And today I've taken up some stories. They're Zen stories for a calm, clear, and open mind. और वो क्या किस लिए जरूरत होती है हमें that calm, clear, and open mind for our focus. So focus is very important. We all need it. It's an important theme in everyone's life. Focus on work, on projects that matter, on the people we really care about, and most of all, mind focus रहे तो सब कुछ ठीक रहता है. That's of utmost importance, right? Then we tend to lose that very easily. Focus. It's part of human nature. ध्यान हमारा इधर उधर भटक जाता है. So in fact, our brains are wired to look for problems. So we start obsessing over an issue which we can't fix. तो उसके बाद पीछे पड़े जाते हैं. So until we create a solution, वो हमें पीछे पड़े रहते हैं. And then when we do, थोड़ा सी शांति हो जाती है. And then the next thing comes up. So it's a constant, you could say, effort of issues coming up and us resolving us. So हर चीज के लिए focus बहुत जरूरी है. And we tend to get very easily distracted. So there are so many things in our environment competing for attention. So कहीं पे भी हमारा ध्यान भटक जाता है. And also, there are so many tips floating on around as to how to deal with your attention deficit syndrome. बहुत सारी like suggestions are there. You can do a number of things to bring your focus back. And today I've chosen Zen stories to talk about focus because Zen stories, they showcase this aspect very beautifully through their allegories and their imagery. And what better way to get distracted than with a story that's more enjoyable. And then we learn something. When our mind is cloudy, when we can't think straight, so a Zen story has the power to clear it. And if you're feeling very agitated, out of sorts, these stories calm you down. And they give you a lot of clarity. Like they're very simple stories, very short also. Sometimes you feel, okay, that was it. But then they bring forward a very profound message, which you have to understand the underlying message. So my first story is about the man who said yes. A very simple thing. So a man, he went to a Buddhist monastery for a silent retreat. And after a few days, he was feeling quite better, calmer, stronger. But he felt something was missing. So the teacher, he suggested you go and talk to one of the monks before you leave. So you might get some clarity. So he went to one of the monks with whom he was friendly. And then he asked him, like, how do you find peace? That is my question. So the monk said, I say yes. To everything that happens, I say yes. So this was a very cryptic answer. He couldn't understand it. But he left from there and he went back home. And when he returned home, he felt he was actually enlightened. And this is an actual story. That man is Kamal Ravikant. He is an author of a best-selling self-help book, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. And he meditated with the monks. He loved to go to meditate with them, the Tibetan monks. He was a well-established entrepreneur and he lived in New York. But he used to keep coming over here and traveling to the mountains. And later on, he shared what he understood from what the monk had said in one of his interviews, that most of our pain, most of our suffering comes from resistance to what life is giving us. We don't want what is being served to us. And when we resist life, we suffer. So when you say yes to whatever is coming up and you surrender to life, just be in the attitude, okay, what should I do now? What should I be now? That attitude, Rakho, that's where the power comes from. So like when the weather is bad, when you're girlfriend or boyfriend isn't answering, when there seem to be so many obstacles, kuch bhi nahi hil raha hai, nothing is budging. Don't say no. Don't like try to push that situation away. Like, don't be frustrated. Nothing is happening. Just accept. Okay, this is happening. No, that person is not responding. Uh, things are not moving. It's okay. Accept. Just take deep breaths. Life is flowing with your breathing. When we are tense, we even forget to breathe properly. So that breathing process is of like utmost important thing in our life. उसी के ऊपर हम focus करें, if we do work on it, it can actually start making life flow again. So we try to go against the current. I don't want this thing happening in my life. We have to flow with the current. So let the current carry you instead. Times are bad. It's okay. Take deep breaths, relax, back out a little. Let things happen. If they're beyond your control, let them happen. If you can do something about, do it. Find a solution and do it. Otherwise, just let things happen. And definitely, if the wheel keeps turning, it will turn. It will be in your favor soon enough. Okay, so that was the first story. Any insights from anybody about it? What do you think?
Yes, I really like that because most of the time when the good things are happening, we are saying yes, yes. But if something goes wrong or if something is even inappropriate, we say no. But if we start saying yes, it would be like, I think, it will be a very different space and more positive. It's kind of enlightening. Hello. Hello, Meenu, welcome back. Let me just
I said the net is also teaching us, accept. It's okay.
yes. It's a part. Yeah. It's a test of the lesson.
Yes.
Actually, it's a very important lesson for coaches, I think, because we are always on the speed to try to correct everything.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we just need to relax and accept.
Yeah.
So,
So I come across this line, stop being the manager of the universe. That's what
yeah,
we need to
absolutely.
practice.
Very, very important.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, I'll move to the next story now. It's about a crystal cup. So, Zen master was given a beautifully crafted crystal cup. It was a gift from a student of his, and he was very happy with it. It was so beautiful. He was very grateful, thankful to the student, and he used to love drinking out of that glass every day. And he would like even show it to all his visitors and his friends. Like, look, my student gifted it to me. But every morning, he used to hold the cup in his hands for a few seconds and say to himself, this glass is already broken. So it was like a very odd thought, but that was what he used to do daily. Then one day somebody had come or something had happened, and due to some clumsiness, the glass got toppled off and it broke. It fell down and broke. It was like smashed into thousands of tiny pieces. And the person who had done that, he was really shocked because he knew how the master loved that cup. So everyone was, all those who were present were shocked at what now. But the master, he remained calm. He looked at that mess at his feet and he said, okay, yes, let's begin. And he picked up a broom and he started sweeping. And that's the story. What do you understand from that?
This is interesting one. We know the other Zen story in which in Japan how they put gold inside it. So I was thinking it's that story.
Okay. So what does this story portray for you? What do you understand from it?
Uh, for me, like, when the creation happened, it's like end is also, the future is also decided at the same time.
But your attitude towards it, that is what matters. Like he was already preparing himself. So his thought was it's being okay with losing what you have. That is what this story is all about. Nothing is permanent. Things will keep coming and going. Anything can happen anytime. So, being accepting towards that, when you're open to that, it doesn't hurt you so much when it actually happens. That's how you remain, you deal with things with equanimity. So, we have to be okay with losing what we have. And, half of happiness is being okay with what you don't get. We keep like wanting things, and what we don't get, we feel very disappointed. So that is what it's okay. We get it, it's good. If we don't get it, that's also good. That should be our attitude. And then the person who remembers to be grateful for his possessions is ahead of most of them. And but the one who knows that they won't last is way ahead of that person also. So be the second person. Accept that yes, things are not going to last. I don't need to get attached to things. Okay, so I'm going to the next story now. It's about a bowl. Uh, a monk told a person who had come, a monk told a name has been given. Monk told Joshua that I've just entered the monastery. Please teach me. So the master, asked, "Have you eaten your rice porridge?" The monk replied, "Yes, I've eaten." So he says, "Go and wash your bowl." And in that moment is supposed to be the moment of enlightenment. So what do you think the learning here is? That's the story. That's the complete story, that he's asked and he says, okay, then you just go and wash your bowl. So
Wash your bowl, he said.
yes, the bowl that you have eaten from, so just go and wash it. And at that moment, the monk was enlightened. That's the end of the story. Now, what do you think the learning here is?
Sorry, I missed a bit. How did it begin? What did the monk? He had rice and came to his master.
No, so the monk went to a master and he said, "Okay, I've just come to the monastery. So please teach me, what is it all about? What is life about?"
Okay.
So he just asked, "Have you eaten your rice porridge?" He said, "Yeah, I've eaten." He says, "Go and wash your bowl." That's it.
Okay.
Not to attach,
Oh,
Meenuji, not to attach with whatever is so happening.
Yes,
Whatever.
that is there.
Detachment.
Yeah.
Detachment.
Anything else? Like he
yeah.
was asking, "What teach me?"
Yeah, so basically, I think he's referring to a lot of cleansing, that just go and cleanse yourself.
Okay.
Like the bowl, cleanse your mind, and that's it.
Yeah, it's there. So, like, this story is something very profound.
Can I see?
Yes, please, Sanju.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's saying that, whatever you need to know is already within you.
Mhm. Yes, true, very true. So that was his minimalist advice, you could say. Don't get your head caught up in all this thinking about the meaning of life and what is to happen, the philosophy. Just do what is there to be done.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do, just be in the moment. Now, at this point of time, you have just eaten, go and wash your bowl. And
Yeah.
when you're washing, you have to pay your full attention. The actual advice is whatever
Mindfulness.
you're doing, yes, pay full attention to it. Be totally in the moment.
हम थोड़ा deep चले गए.
We think we are doing what we have to do, but most of the time there's no need to think, to plan or strategize, because it won't
Man.
make a big difference to what you ultimately choose.
True.
that here you have to be here in this moment. So there is always something to be done. There's always a next step to be done. So take one or any one of them, take one at a time. And kai baar, when you are just doing, paying full attention, there is a lot of satisfaction in that also. So mindfulness is the way of achieving that, you could say, profoundness.
But I'm never sort of never sure about that. Is that suppose you're doing that one thing and you're only in that, then you won't notice that there is maybe land coming up behind you or around you, near you, to eat you up, because
Okay.
you're so only thinking about what you're doing then at that time.
The point behind is that you have to have awareness at that moment. And when you have that, you're aware of what is happening around you also. Which environment you are in, what is happening around you, who's coming, you will be aware. But
You're taking away.
yeah, when you're washing that bowl and you're thinking of, oh, I have that appointment there and that I have to go and do that and meet that person. So then you're not there, and then you're not aware of what is happening in your environment. So focus in that moment makes you present to everything that is.
One more message that I think the story gives to me is to don't leave things half done.
Yes, very
It
good.
completes after you've eaten your stuff, then you need to wash the bowl.
Absolutely.
So
So
that's another
the,
message.
the next step is always there, but
Yeah.
I have to take it. And there are like many distractions, but
Next
focus.
step, it's like completing the task.
Let's
So
focus where you are.
nice, cute story. It can lead to a lot of thinking, actually.
Yes, that's what these stories are, really profound. They make you really go deep into them. Okay, so the next story is also very interesting. So two men visited a Zen master, and the first man went to meet him first, and he said, "I'm thinking of moving to this town. What's it like?" He asked his advice. How will it be when I move to this town? So the Zen master asked, "What was your old town like? Where you lived, what was it like?" The first man, he said, "Oh, it was dreadful. Everyone was so hateful. I hated it." So the Zen master said, "This town is very much the same. I don't think you should move here." So that was his advice. So he left, the first man left, and then the second man came in. And the second man also had the same thought that I'm thinking of moving to this town. What is it like? And again, the Zen master asked the same question. What was your old town like? Now, the second man responded, "It was wonderful. Everyone was so friendly and I was very happy there. I'm just interested in a change now and I feel there might be better opportunities, so I want to come here." The Zen master replied, "Okay, this town is very much the same. I think you will like it here." So that's the story. So for the first person, he said something different, and for the second, he said different. So what are your thoughts about it?
So basically, he's saying that you carry your own environment wherever you go. So
Exactly.
whatever is inside you will show up around. So
Exactly.
it's not about the town, it's about you.
Right. Very
बट
true.
कहीं ना ये टोटल कंप्लीशन नहीं है इसमें क्योंकि कई बार टाउन्स बड़े अच्छे होते हैं और कई नहीं होते
Your outlook does matter a lot. That is what it is
yeah
coming out to be.
I understand that but not all towns are the same
Anyone else would like to give any insight? किसी को और क्या समझ आया इसमें से?
What
and
is
basically
inside shows outside.
Sorry, Neelam?
आपके अंदर होता है वो बाहर भी दिखता है वैसे ही.
Exactly. So what we are looking for, what is inside us, that is what we find. So आप जिस attitude से जाओगे आपको वही मिलेगा. So whatever you are like believing in, whatever reasons that matter to you a lot, that is what you end up getting or doing also. Because your thoughts are what are shaping your reality. So आप जैसा सोच के जाओगे आपको वैसी ही चीजें मिलेंगी. So any experiences of that kind, that whatever you thought and it happened in exactly that way?
Yeah, very recent. I went for a trip to Toronto and I just wanted a very peaceful time with one of my uncles. 'Cause he's getting old. And we had a beautiful time together,
Uh-huh.
peaceful, nice. But the thing is, I came back with a lot of, energy. And I said, इस बार तो मैं ना दिल्ली के dust और air को चढ़ने नहीं दूंगी. I'm going to stay fit.
Uh-huh.
I'm feeling the pressure on my lungs. So how do I tackle that? मैंने तो बहुत माइंड अपना बनाया था कि अब इम्यूनिटी बढ़ गई है वहां पे आई वाज वॉकिंग एंड डूइंग योगा
Uh-huh.
तो अब यहाँ आके कुछ होना नहीं चाहिए बट इट्स जस्ट हैपेंड लाइक
Uh-huh. So that's a
so
challenge you have to overcome. Yes, now find some new ways to do it.
I need to get out of Delhi. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes towns are different. Some towns you breathe better, and then you have better people in your environment. So
Right.
it's not only about you. I think it's about the people you're with also, you know.
Yeah, everyone has their own
You
thought
know, that
process.
energy goes through.
Huh.
Like my uncle is like a monk almost. बहुत
Okay.
yoga और बहुत studies करते हैं, you know. So his
I,
energy is totally different.
huh. So
But sometimes when you are in the materialistic kind of environment, तो फिर energies अलग होती है ना.
yes, that's true. So now you have to raise your vibration to overcome that.
नहीं
That's what
अपनी
you
तो
do.
रहती है मेरी वैसे रहती है हेल्थ का थोड़ा मेरे को
So
दिल्ली में पता नहीं क्यों होता है मतलब वो तो कभी खत्म ही नहीं हुआ सारी जिंदगी चलता
you know
रहा है.
that thought process only brings you down. When you have ki, okay, I'm in this environment and it is bringing me down. So your own thought will bring you down. That yes, okay, yeah, bring her down.
I know I do work on that, but what I'm saying is practically मैं ठीक हो जाती हूँ. If I go to Haridwar, I'll be fine. So I can't do anything about the air pollution. I'm just joking. So
हाँ,
that is the main thing.
that is a very big
तो
challenge.
वहां ये काम नहीं कर रही मैं तो वहां भी अप्लाई करने की कोशिश करती रहती हूँ.
Okay.
You know, but it doesn't work.
Okay. Chalo, we'll have to find some new ways then.
I think all truths have some limitations. So nothing is really the gospel truth.
Right, that's true. Because like whole fluidity बहुत है ना, flexibility we have to bring in. Life is flowing, anything can happen.
True.
That next story also showcases something like that. Like it's about a teacup. So a learned man once went to visit a Zen master and to understand about Zen and the modality completely. So as the Zen teacher was talking, the learned man, he would keep interrupting to express his opinion about this or that, whatever was being said. So finally, the Zen master, he stopped speaking and he said, okay, let's have tea. So he served tea. The tea was already there in front of him in the kettle. The tea was there. So he upturned the cup and he started pouring into it. And I'm sure this is like a very common story. Everyone must have heard it. So he poured the tea into the cup and he continued pouring even after it was full. So the learned man, he said, stop, what are you doing? The cup is full. You can't pour more into it. So then the Zen master said, so like this cup, you are full of your own opinions. If you do not empty your cup first, how can you taste my cup of tea? So when we're going for knowledge, we need to go with that attitude. What do you say?
Absolutely. That's the toughest challenge actually. Especially once you have crossed your 60s ना कहते हैं सटया जाते हो ना तो इतनी knowledge होती है तो you can't open your mind easily to anything.
Right. That's true.
But
We have
that's
fixed
what's
ideas.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else would like to say something?
Mm. Yes, I think if your cup is full, you can't learn. Then you will only get the bits of it. Most of it will, flow out.
Yeah, exactly. So, we have a tendency to judge the world with our own measuring sticks. कि हमारे जो criteria है उसी हिसाब से world को हमने judge करना है because we don't know anything else maybe. So it's a very biased, you could say a subjective view we have of the world with our using our own measuring sticks, and they cannot apply everywhere. So you have to like let go of your own old beliefs to actually be in the moment. So, like you need to see the world through other people's eyes also. You need to understand how are people looking at it. So you have to widen your perspective. It's never easy, as you said, that especially beyond 60, that you're so set in your ideas that you don't want to change them. But you can take just small steps to change.
Yeah.
Just be open, flexible. Okay, so I come to the final story now. So it's about 4 candles. 4 monks decided to meditate silently for 2 weeks without speaking. So when they started, they lighted a candle to as if initiate the process. So by nightfall, like it was a big sort of candle which could burn for a long time. But by nighttime, the candle flickered and went out. So one of the monks, he immediately commented, "Oh no, the candle is gone out." So the second monk said, "We are not supposed to talk." And third said, "Why must you two break the silence?" Or fourth वाला क्या बोलता है? He laughed and said, "I'm the only one who didn't speak."
I've heard this. It's a good one.
So they all had different reasons for speaking up, but each like without thinking. So they just commented. So if there had been a fifth wiser monk, he would have remained silent and kept
Yeah.
meditating and showed them that this is what you're supposed to be doing. So
Sadhana is all about silence. Huh?
yes,
I've done 10 days of that because it's quite a challenge.
wow.
So for this, I have a personal story. If you want, I can share it.
Yes, please do.
So ये तो काफी टाइम हो गया 5-10 साल पहले जो मेन कुंभ हुआ था ना इलाहाबाद में जो पिछले से पिछला कुंभ था
Yeah.
तो हम लोग वहां गए थे तो मौनी अमावस्या होती है तो यू गो फॉर स्नान and that day you're not supposed to speak anything till at least after the snan. So we all decided, family of 4 of us were there, my sons, my husband and me, कि बोलना नहीं है सुबह चुपचाप जाना है और we have to take the dip. And first person was my husband who called out to me कि देर हो रही है. And I replied,
Okay.
and I'm ready. मेरा तो हमारा तो दोनों का तभी खत्म हो.
हो गया.
Then the elder son he was quiet for quite some time. Then on the way something happened, somebody said something to him and he replied.
Okay.
So he also lost it. But the younger one kept it till the end. He
Wow.
managed to do it.
Okay.
उसको किसी चीज ने tempt नहीं किया कुछ भी बोलने को. He was very firm about it. So it's a difficult practice actually. Silence is something important and they करो तो बहुत अच्छा भी रहता है. But if you have never done it, because I never really practiced silence before that. उसके बाद तो बहुत करा है. So it's different now. Maybe now I can manage, but normally it's tough.
Yeah. So that's what you showed her, how tough it is to quieten your thoughts also.
Even to your quieting your thoughts and even your reactions.
Yes, absolutely.
The minute we get a trigger, we react for every little thing. So that is, I think, a great training. When you do silence, it trains you to not react.
So it really helps us to get like when we are talking, we are getting really involved in everything. And we're not learning anything. But when you're listening, we learn a lot. So the less you speak, the smarter you get. So those who speak less, they are smarter. And it can be the other way around also. The smarter you get, the less you speak. So it is connected to being smart.
Yes, totally. But sometimes it's important for smart people like you to speak up. नहीं तो हमारा क्या होगा?
ऐसी कोई बात नहीं, हो जाता है. Because we all connected to the source, and it comes from within only. What you're learning from here is just superficial, you could say. How you apply it, that comes from internal inner side only. अंदर से ही समझ आती है कि कैसे apply करना है.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lovely stories.
Yes.
Enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So here, like the final thought is that focus is a lifelong practice. So Zen is also a lifelong practice, and we can fail a lot of times, but it's okay. And listening to a good story is the best distraction. It can bring you
Exactly.
back to track also.
I love telling and listening to stories both.
Uh-huh.
बहुत मजा आता है मुझे भी. I think life is a story, ना, और है क्या?
There is, each person is a story and a unique
Yeah.
story. No two lifetimes life stories match either. मतलब थोड़े common factors होंगे, but सबके individual story. It's so amazing.
So true. Plot, major plot is the same, but the
Yeah,
stories are
yeah,
different.
yeah. So I would like to share one more thing, that yesterday I did a past life session, and that guy, his like first marriage didn't work out. Like it for almost, he was married for 15, 17 years. Problems chal rahi thi, then he got a divorce. And his own parents had like been very ill. His father was a cancer patient, his mother had kidney issues. So unka ghar bhi big gaya. So he didn't have anything, no, only child. So one uncle, third distant, that's all, no family at all. So he was married to this lady, and he started staying with her. But then she pushed him out. So फिर divorce हो गया, बेटी थी उसमें, तो बेटी went her own way. Then he got married again after that divorce. And the same pattern happened, that after a couple of years, he had a son. So he has a very young son now. But the lady has pushed him out. Again the same thing has happened. So he had come कि what is this happening, कि मेरा अपना घर भी चला गया, and from here also I've lost everything. So in his past life he felt that he was in the mountains, जैसे mountain person, गढ़वाल type उस area में था, and they lived in a छोटा सा घर था, and he felt his sister. He, in this lifetime he didn't have any, he felt his sister, and then he felt his wife. He was married, but that was the first wife, and she left him in that lifetime also, because due to money issues. Then he felt that this sister jo thi is his present wife. And what was the connection with it? That in that lifetime, he had not allowed her to marry the person of her choice. तो उसको बहुत मारा भी था, and he refused to let her get married to that guy, and made her marry somebody else, and she had a very horrible life after that. So she cursed him that you will also never be happy, and that curse was active in this lifetime. So he's not been happy throughout his life, and now she's there with him. बेटा आना था, वो हो गया. उसके बाद she's like literally pushed him away. He doesn't have a place to go, because अपना घर तो था ही नहीं. He was staying with her. She had an old mother she had to take care of, so it was convenient. Earlier they were sitting or like living किराए पे लेके, rent पे वो रह रहे थे. But then the mother was ill, the lady's mother, so they shifted there only to take care of her. But now he's been thrown out of the house. There's nowhere he can go, and कुछ समझ नहीं आ रही उसको हो क्या रहा है मेरी life में. So he got a very clear insight about why it is happening. And then healing has to be done now for that. So hopefully things will improve in his life. So just like what we do, it has a very like powerful repercussions. Uske upar we have to be really careful. What are we doing in life? How are we dealing with people? We have to bring in that awareness. Like every little thing matters. Now, ये हम सोचते common है कि ठीक है, I didn't like that, I made her marry somebody else. But where it will come back to you, we don't know.
And it can be across lifetime as you said.
Absolutely across
But
lifetime.
ये तो इंडिया में तो सारे पेरेंट्स फोर्स कर देते
करते
हैं.
ही हैं, हाँ करते ही हैं.
फिर
पता नहीं
उनके
कितने
बच्चे
कर्मा.
दोबारा
हाँ,
लाइन में
वही
आ
तो
गए.
it's a very common
Eventually,
thing. अभी force.
तो फिर उनके बच्चे अगले जन्म में रिवेंज लेते सारे.
और मे बी वो पिछले में करके आए हैं, इसलिए यहाँ पे ऐसे हो रहा है. Like it's endless. That's what I feel.
Hmm.
Like after parents are becoming more generous.
Yeah, now they are more aware. So that was it. So we can wind up now because always stories. And unless anybody else wants to, Samina ji, where are you? Your story, please.
I'm just enjoying today. I also learned, over the past 1 year or 2 years that listening should also be uppermost.
Okay. Okay.
You know, so many a times I keep totally quiet. But I've
So
learned
that's a really smart way of getting out of it. Great.
So I'll share that story. मेरे को याद आ रही है monks की आप बता रहे हो तो you आपने तो पक्का ही सुनी होगी that there were these two monks and they came to a river and they had to cross it.
Yeah, yeah.
So सबने सुनी हुई है तो रहने देती हूँ.
नहीं
yeah,
बताइए,
no,
बताइए.
what difference, how you can
Yes.
say it.
Flavor
So-
different हो जाता है.
So there was another pregnant lady trying to cross the river. And so she asked for help. So the senior monk just, picked her up and he took her across the river and he put her down. So the younger monk was watching and he was very uncomfortable that this guy's picked up a lady and, like they're not supposed to touch women. And ye kya kar rahe hai, and, all sorts of things going on in his head. So, and after that, he kept walking very calmly, but this guy couldn't resist. So he stopped him and he asked him, he said, we are not allowed to touch women. Why did you do that?
Mhm.
And, it's making me very uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So he said, you're uncomfortable because you're still carrying the woman in your head. I've put it down and I've moved on.
Yes.
So he did it as when it was required to help a lady in distress.
Mhm.
He did it, even though that thing was there कि औरत को छूना नहीं है, तो छूना नहीं है is not कि आपने support नहीं करनी है, help नहीं करना कोई मुसीबत में है तो.
Exactly.
So
So
I
good.
think that's a really cute story.
Very, very nice. I really love that story. Like it portrays that detachment that you should have from what you're doing.
Yeah. And also the judgmental attitude
Yes.
of people,
Yeah.
that we start judging very quickly,
True.
and that needs to be checked also. Both the things. It's a very good story. बहुत लोगों ने सुनाई हुई है वैसे तो.
Yeah.
No, so there's so many stories now, which Meenuji also two and yours one. All this comes on WhatsApp.
Uh-huh.
So that is why we all have heard of it.
Yes,
But
exactly.
yeah, but I may have missed the beginning. I wanted to know the actual principle or this behind the Zen stories.
Yes.
Uh,
So I talked about that in my last session. That also is a Zen story because I'm not even getting time to prepare proper. So I'm picking up Zen stories to talk about. So in my
Okay.
last session also, I talked about Zen stories. Usme thoda sa I'd explain what they are.
That's
So they are
wonderful.
actually just profound thoughts of the masters. Yes, Shivani?
And today's focus was why focus.
Yes.
So, Meenu, would you like to share some thought on that?
Right. It was all about focus.
Meenuji,
Hanji.
you said that if you keep quiet, then it is smart.
Yeah.
But actually, see, they have the saying, no, if you keep better to keep your mouth shut and let people think you are dumb than to open it and then let them realize, no, it is true.
That's also there. So you can look at perspectives. You can go with whatever you feel like.
Acha, in that last story, what was it like? You said, no, I mean that your you said gave your incident, no? So what happened to that fellow? He kept getting married and then he kept getting thrown out.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
No, you said no, that boy in your past life regression, he kept
Yeah,
getting
yeah, yeah,
married
Hanji.
and he kept getting thrown out. Then what his parents got to do with that?
He couldn't understand that.
Huh?
He couldn't understand that. Like, you're shown only that which is relevant. You're not shown the entire story. मतलब पूरी एक movie चल जाती है, but only up to the point where it is whatever is necessary for you to know. So, in fact, पीछे एक और lady had come. She had problems with her brother. मतलब they were not on talking terms, and she had problems with her son. He was a very detached, sort of indifferent kind of character. He's not bothered about it. And she went into the session, and like it was literally for her, it was like a movie started off. And in fact, that was the most amazing session I done. अभी तक ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ. Immediately, I was just in the process of taking her, and she was gone, and it started like a movie in front of her, and very detailed. She was able to understand each and everything. So she understood what was the issue with her brother, and a very complicated story it was also, but she was able to understand that. And the moment she understood that, I was trying to push her to the son की तरफ, अपने आप शुरू हो गई. It was another lifetime. There were two lifetimes. She started seeing the son's also what was the reason behind his attitude very clearly. And her husband was sitting here with her, and after that he said, "What was that? Like, how could she have been getting so much clarity about everything?" I said, "I also don't know. It's not in my hands." So it's just her connection was so strong. And then he was saying, "She didn't mention me." So they were laughing so much after that. Okay, I was nowhere in the scene. So then what if she doesn't, they don't have any issues. They have a very good relationship. So nothing about the relationship came up. So just those two aspects which she was bothered about, just those were focused on, and that is what she saw. So जो आपको समझना है ना, बस आपको उतना ही दिखता है. तो इसके केस में पेरेंट्स का नहीं समझ आया. I was actually that question I was also wondering later on. Nothing came up about why he doesn't have a house. Why he has to go and live with his wife each time, and he's pushed away. उसका भी थोड़ा सा might have to do another session to understand that.
So you're saying that
But the
that
fact,
multiple times he got married and he got this thing pushed out. That has to be related to this lady or someone.
How it could have like into more depth into it, but हर एक का connection इतना strong नहीं होता. So they don't get the details like that lady got. So this gentleman, he
They are
didn't get
two
the
separate
details.
this thing.
Sorry?
Like these are two separate people you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm talking about two separate people. That was a lady who went very clearly and got details, and this was a gentleman who came yesterday, and थोड़ी clarity मिली, पूरी clarity नहीं मिली उसको.
Achha. Wow. What was your first Zen story?
My first sense story. I'll have to go back to and see what
That's
it
okay,
was.
we'll watch the replay.
The first sense story was the man who said yes to your life. Flow along with it.
Yes to life.
Yes.
so Minuji, what is the basic difference between Zen and other kinds of Buddhism? Just can you briefly tell me?
Zen is just Zen is that your thought process, that Zen Buddhist thought process.
Yeah,
It's a name given to
to the
Buddhist
thought
process.
process.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So that Zen is for everything,
Yeah.
any Buddhism or anything.
Yeah. It's not about a sect or
Not
anything.
a sect of Buddhism.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Nice.
Yeah. So I think we can wind up now, Shabana ji. Thank you so much. It was very interesting that all of you participated and shared with all your stuff. Also nice. Thank you.
Yes, we had so many stories today.
Yeah.
Thank
Awesome.
you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
I love your background. कितना
Thank
बढ़िया
you.
cosmos बना है.
Thank you.
So thank you everyone and see you again tomorrow.